Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. So today we're going to share with you our top 10 tips on how to emigrate to Australia. So grab yourself a pen, stay tuned. So number 10 is research. So obviously research is pretty important. You've got to decide what city you want to live in, what job you want to get, the cost of living there. What else?
Well, yeah, there's lots of important factors about choosing where you're going to go, because the type of visa that you're going to go on could depend on what location you have to choose. So,
And schools.
yeah, so there's lots of things to consider.
Also, if you plan on taking your dog or your cat with you, that is a big step. So obviously research that as well before. So yeah, basically number 10, research. Number 9 is save money.
It's very expensive to emigrate.
Yeah, I mean obviously you've got the cost of visas themselves, and you've got the cost of immigration agent to work on your behalf if you want to go that route. Obviously you can do it yourself, but again that's another fee involved. Obviously saving for rent. If you're going to rent over there, you could probably need 3-4 weeks rent money in advance as a deposit.
There's all the normal bills to pay. There's the equivalent of council tax, water, electric, all of the normal day-to-day bills. And if you are also perhaps keeping a property back at home, you might also have them similar bills to pay back at home: rent, mortgage, council tax, whatever it is. So yeah, you really need to think about how much money you're going to need to be able to move over there, and for when you've moved over there. You're going to have to set up a whole new home. You may be able to ship stuff, but it takes 3 to 4 months. So you're going to need something in them first 3 to 4 months. So you need to have money to buy all of that when you get there.
So there you go. Number 9, save. Number 8 is your visas. Obviously there's loads and loads of different visas you can pick from. Obviously if your qualifications are recognised, I mean you've been quite lucky. You've had your qualification was
transferable.
So yeah, a lot of research is involved in visas. Obviously we're going over on a 482 to start with, and then go to a permanent residency visa after skills assessments and stuff like that, or there's the working holiday ones you can get.
If you can afford to, we would really recommend that you get a special visa agent, because it's really helpful. And yeah, I think if we didn't have that, we'd be making loads of mistakes, because I think you literally need a qualification to understand all the types of visas and how to apply for them. It's super complicated.
Yeah, so visas are the big one. So that is our number 8 is visas. So number 7 is healthcare. Obviously some visas require to have your own private healthcare, which I know we have to on our 482. One of the conditions was we have to have our own healthcare in place for the duration of the visa. Whereas if you've got like a permanent residency, you get covered by Australia's Medicare, I believe.
And other types of visas you can get covered on Medicare, but definitely not the 482.
So yeah, you have to think about your healthcare. Obviously if you're travelling over with a family, make sure your kids are covered. There's lots of other options available. You've got dentistry cover. I know some states you have to have like ambulance insurance and stuff like this. But yeah, really that is a big one, is get your healthcare in place, do some quotes before you go, see the costs. I mean it can range from £5,000 onwards depending on the size of your family. So yeah, that's what we'd say is number 7, healthcare. So tip number 6 is try and find a job before you go, really. There's lots of online portals you can use. One I found my job on was Seek, which is really good. You obviously upload a cover letter, your CV, and then obviously you can click. It's quite quick and easy to apply online. It emails all the employers over there. It's really handy. So yeah, finding a job has really helped. Really, they help with one of the costs for our visa. They I think have to pay by law, the visa agents. I think they have to pay the price for that. So that was quite handy in getting a job over there. Plus, obviously, your job was already over there. But
yeah, if you're doing a recce trip, the way that we did it was we used the recce trip as an opportunity for you to go for interviews. So try and combine that and apply for stuff before you go, get your CV out there, and try and arrange to meet prospective employers whilst you're there.
yeah, it definitely makes use of your recce trip, doesn't it? If you can go and visit them. I mean, you can do it by Skype or whatever, or Teams call, but it's obviously not the same as meeting someone face to face, shaking their hand.
And they know you're committed. They're meeting you in person. They know that you've made that effort to go there. There's more sort of thing on them to maybe try and support and help you to come over if they like what they see in front of them.
Yeah. So we go. Tip number 6, try and find yourself a job. Tip number 5, embrace the Aussie culture. So Australians are known for their friendliness and laid-back nature, so try and immerse yourself in the local culture, try Australian food, learn some Australian slang, and don't forget to enjoy a game of footy or cricket. So tip number 4 is plan your accommodation wisely. So do some research of the area, the schools, and then obviously if you're looking to rent to start with, there's lots of websites you've got. What's it called? A tenant app, I think, is one of them, and realestate.com.au. Obviously, that's a very good search engine that helps you find all the local houses that are available. So yeah, basically, just you got to consider where it's close to shops. If you want to live near the beach, near the schools. Obviously, schools are quite hot on catchment, so there's a ED map for Queensland where we're specifically going. And they literally show you all the outlines for the catchment for the schools. So you literally put the school you want to go to, and it will give you the borders of where the catchment is. So you could have literally one long street, but one house will be in catchment and one won't. So that's another top tip, is look for catchment as well.
But if you're lucky enough to go on a recce trip, definitely try and scope out as many of the local suburbs as you possibly can. Try and do some rental inspections, even if you've got no plans to go and rent anything anytime soon. It's a really good opportunity to go and see how it works, meet some of the realtors, have discussions with them about your plans, talk to them about the local area. So yeah, you can get lots done if you're lucky enough to go on that recce trip, so that when you get back home, you may not ever be back into Australia until the time that you're going to move there. So really crucial that you check out everywhere that you might want to live, so that if you then want to rent somewhere, you know the area.
Well, that's it. That's one thing. Like, make an impression on the realtor. If you go and meet them, they can kind of like see what you're like as a family. It's like makes a good first impression. Also, like, remembers you to them. If they want to rent someone out to you, then obviously they can remember you. Then you'll be top of the list for them to rent to. So.
But we were really lucky. We've met a lot of friendly, helpful people in Australia, and even joining some of the Facebook groups. So I joined a Facebook group, and the name of the group is the sort of areas that we want to live in. And a few weeks ago, I put a post on there to say, I can't make an inspection. Does anybody know this area? I put the address. Is it a nice place to be? Is there any... can you tell me any comments about it? And I had lots of people give really good feedback about it. And then I had this one lady who very kindly offered to go and look at the outside of the accommodation for us and show us the area. She was super sweet. She called me when she said she would. She literally showed me the area on FaceTime, and she showed me like the local restaurants and the local shops and things. So people can be really helpful, and yeah, supportive, and whatever help you can get, you should definitely take it.
So there we go. So tip number 3 is get your qualifications recognised. So by that, with mine, for the part of the permanent residency, I have to do a skills assessment to actually prove that I can do my job, and it's kind of relevant to an Australian qualification because they're slightly different. I did an apprenticeship for 3-4 years, it's not really the same as the Australian one, so I have to do a skills assessment documenting my skills, show the certificates, and supply videos and photo evidence of like me doing my job and like the skills that I can do. So the thing we would say is basically check for your skills and see if they are recognised by the Australian Employment Board. If not, speak to obviously a visa agent or someone like that who can help you to see how you can like transpose them over into Australian, like an Australian equivalent. That obviously helps prove to employers obviously you're able to do the job that they're asking. Really, it's a tricky one, but yeah, as long as you got someone there to help you and support, you just need to prove that you can do it basically. So number 2 is build a support network. So by that we kind of mean try and network, meet people, meet some Australian people or expats or POMs as they call it. Yeah, just it'll help you settle in. If you've got people that have been there for a while, you can get hints and tips off of them. And then obviously we've met a few people from Facebook groups, and when we were over on our recce trip we met a couple of people, and it was really helpful, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, and I think there's so many expats in Australia as well. You'll definitely find your own expat community in the area in which you're going to live. If you've got kids and they're going to school, the likelihood is that you're going to make friends with your kids' friends' parents. You know, if you've got young kids, you can go to like play groups and things. So yeah, you're probably not going to have that many friends or family, if any, when you go out there. So the more you can make, the better.
So our last and final tip number 1 is embrace the great outdoors. Obviously Australia is massive. I mean, we were only there for 2 weeks on our recce trip, and literally we just brushed the top of the iceberg. There was so much to do. I mean, you just got to go, and there's beautiful wonders there. It's a massive place. Just go out there and enjoy it, visit everything you can. That's it. It's just got to get used to the outdoor lifestyle. It's a completely different way of life compared to England, what we're used to. We're stuck indoors for 6 months of the year, awful weather, whereas over there, obviously depending which part of Australia you're going to move to, is the weather is pretty much nice all year round. They say winter's cold, but compared to England, it's not. So yeah, just get out there, go and explore, enjoy yourself. It's going to be a new life for you and your family and your dog or your cat. So yeah, just get out there and go and enjoy it. Right, so there you go. That's our top 10 tips on how to emigrate to Australia. Remember, it's just the beginning of your exciting journey. So start ticking off that checklist and get ready for an incredible adventure down under. If you enjoyed this video,
like and subscribe.
And for more tips and tricks, make sure you follow us, and hopefully we'll see you out there. Cheers, mate.